Yeah. All right. After all of those shares, I did. Okay. First again. What's up, Big? All right. Annie, can you shut that door? All right. All right, we are, I'm hoping, live. Kind of Jimmy rigging this, apparently. Had to do this a couple times. Let me know how the audio is. I'm only doing 720p because Jeff seems to think that's the best for streaming live for some reason. Whatever. What is this? Well, so I'm John. I'm from Hops and Brews, YouTube beer review channel. A lot of you that are probably watching already know who I am. I'm also a co-host of a live tech show from Craft Computing called Talking Heads. I'm one of the co-hosts on that, and we do something special on that show. For those of you that do not follow Craft Computing, we do 20 minutes of beer news. Usually pertains to about 15-20 minutes of about 2 to 3 articles of what we find interesting in the beer world. Well, most of the time we submit quite a few articles for review. Hey, this is a good article. This one's not that great. We'll just use it if there's nothing else to talk about. So a lot of those news articles get thrown to the wayside. I kind of wanted to start talking about those little events, kind of just bring light to more of the smaller things that we didn't get to talk about that, well, they're still kind of interesting. And some of them are still big news, too. So I think that's what we're going to be doing today. I'd like to try to be doing this as a bi-weekly thing. I might even move this more to a after party of a talking head that I'm not on, and I can kind of just continue the beer news after that show. Let me know for the people that do follow that if you'd be interested in me doing something like that. If not, then oh well. Is there some beer? Oh, you know what that probably is Skull, that's probably actually my fan. Let me move the mic. Oh, righty tighty, lefty loosey. There, try it. Let me know if that is better. Civil, hola, how you guys doing? Okay, and then first of all, this is, well, pretty much similar to that show. We're going to be talking, or going to be having a beer. If you want to drink along with me, go ahead and drink along with me. Let me know in the chat. I do not have any, super chats or anything like that, so I will try to get to you when I can. Just keep bugging me, and I will see it. So, what am I going to be drinking tonight? And again, I apologize if this is a little rough. This is the first time doing it. So I'm just still kind of getting used to the live setup here, how things will be done. I'm hoping with a couple more episodes, I'll have this a bit more polished. Maybe we'll even get a couple of guests to come on during the first, 10 minutes or so, and we do a quick remote beer review with someone, and then we get into more of the news. So, but today, what I will be drinking is Drecker's Brain Squeeze Smoothie. So this is a cherry lime gose, and this is actually one of the what's called a smoothie style gose. So it's pureed. There's a lot of active sugar still in this, so should be pretty good. $1 donated. Boop. Thanks, Big Spoon. So let's go ahead and take a look at what this thing can do. And this thing is just pink. It looks just like juice. The nice thing about these beers is they are so flavorful, and they do basically just taste like juice. They are low ABV. I've had a couple that are about 7, but that's about as high as I've ever seen. That tastes good. It's got this pink frothy head. Goses, if you don't notice, have a little bit of salt in them. They're usually, I mean, it's kind of like not sea salt, but just a little bit of salt in them, and they kind of give it a drying aspect. And the interesting thing about this is these smoothie-style sour beers are they put fruit basically after fermentation, so there's still active yeast sugar. So you have to keep these cold, even if it's warm for like 3 days. It'll become active again and can explode, and you can get floaties inside of here. So, that's really good. that is actually cherry and lime. And that's the best part about these type of beers too, is when they give you a fruit flavor style, because they're putting that raw fruit, pureed fruit into it, you get to taste a lot of it. So it really tastes more just like a fruity, fizzy drink. Yeah, it only comes in at 5.5%, so whatever. Still the same after moving the fan. I'm sorry, Skull. I will switch mics. If you can bear with the audio, please bear with the audio. What does it sound like? Yeah. Well, I have the audio muted, so I can't tell. And let me turn down to that. So how long have we been doing here? What's up, Spoon? Yep. Oh, that's good. And I know it is a bit late on a Saturday night for a lot of you guys watching right now, so thank you for tuning in. I say we get right into the first article. And let's see if this even switches over. Hey! Hopefully it does. But, so there are brand new summer beverage, actually not even summer beverages, summer treats that are coming out for you. They are your favorite Pushpop Cocktails are coming to you this summer. And in fact, they are out now. They come in a variety of flavors. It's actually pretty cool. And that, I hit the browser. All right, bear with me again. But yeah, these little push pops are coming. That was a horrible intro, and I apologize for that. But yeah, so push pops are going to be now so Pushpop Cocktails is the name of the company, and they are making some pretty cool new healthy, actually, and I said that right, healthy cocktails. These cocktails are, or I should say, Pushpop cocktails are gluten-free, fat-free, vegan, kosher, and also 100 calories. They come in a variety of flavors of Moscow Mule, Caribbean Breeze, chocolate raspberry sorbet, mango passion fruit, a blueberry mojito, and a Southern Belle, and a couple of other ones. The interesting thing I thought about this was these are not your typical push pop type alcoholic, summer beverages. Usually, like, there have been alcoholic ice creams, and they're still within a lower ABV. These come in at a whopping 15% ABV, and still at 100 calories per one. I found that very interesting. I'm betting, though, it's probably most likely because of the fact that these are only about, they look like 4 or 5 ounces. But that would be something interesting. I'd love to try these. I remember Push Pops back as a kid. I would probably have one of these. So I think it would be quite tasty. Oh crap, I just lowered my browser. Man, now I know why Jeff has a co-host. It's just basically to flip through the links. That's 99% of what this is, I'm betting. Where do I get them? Big Spoon, you can go check out the link, and you can go get one of those classic boozy cocktails. I'm hoping actually they come up with a couple more different flavors. I'd love to have kind of a tropical coconut one. I'm a big fan of coconut. Some coconut pineapple, a bit of the Malibu-esque that Jeff and I were talking about with those drinks. Those I'm also really looking forward to. But again, what I found the most interesting about these things that they were 15% ABV and there are only 100 calories. And they are gluten-free, kosher, vegan. So you basically, everyone that has those, allergies or are sensitive to certain types of food, you could probably have this as long as you just like alcohol. So I'd love to taste how good are these flavors. I wonder if there's like a lot of Splenda. They didn't really go into all of that. That's what most of these articles do. So, all right, let's get into the next one. I gotta do this myself. Now, something very, very interesting is happening this year. Something so historic is actually not going to happen this year for the first time since World War II. And unfortunately, it is all because of a certain pandemic. But Oktoberfest in Germany will not be held this year. It has not ever been not held since World War II. So unfortunately, that will not be going on. If you were planning on going, or a friend that was going to go, or any of that type of stuff, sorry. I hope you get a refund. Just like some people tried to go to LTX this year, but some people went through Expedia. Don't get a refund. I wonder who those could be. What an idiot would do that. Dumb. Novella Hub. Hola. Co-host equals. Say anything in the chat? It's just you guys. Yes, I will miss the ladies too. Yes, but this is gonna stink. Oktoberfest. Even if you're not just a beer drinker, I mean, Oktoberfest is kind of a staple. And they're already talking about a lot of places, even local to myself and other states, are probably going to cancel their Oktoberfest. Now, it is a bit ways away, and certain places aren't hit as bad with this Mexican-style beer, pandemic. Don't want to get demonetized. Well, I'm not even monetized. So the coronavirus, I can sit there and say this all I want. I'm not monetized. I'm not like Jeff. I can just basically, they're probably going to pull my video when I start false news, whatever, who cares. So yeah, but the big wooden shoes, the big glasses, all in Munich, Germany, it's just not going to happen this year. It was supposed to take place between September 9th and October 4th, and it's been canceled. It already has been pulled, so that sucks. But hopefully your local one will not be. But if you were planning on going to Germany, I would have always loved to go to this. I want to go to Germany. I've had friends who've gone to this and have lived in Germany. And again, they'll drink American beers. And it's true. I think American beers and German beers, they're completely different. But what it probably is basically just it's the hops. I believe it's the hops and the style. They just don't like hops all that much. They are a malt-forward beer country. Most of Europe is. And hops really haven't been introduced there till about 10, 12 years ago. And even then, they're fighting it a lot. I've had beers that were people from over in Europe, they've been like, oh, I got this exotic beer, and it's so wonderful. It's got these really exotic hops from a faraway place. I'm like, oh, cool, what is it? Oh, it's Willamette Valley hops. I'm like, you mean the hops in my backyard? Here's 5 pounds. Yeah, I don't care. So, and then you drink it like, yeah, that's great. This is a good beer. Oh, not so much. It's like homebrewers. Someone's first homebrew IPA tastes better than that. So, but if you do like more maltier beers, if you like a little bit warmer beers, we do serve our beers probably about 8 to 10 degrees colder than what they probably do over there. But theirs are stronger. There is a more malt base there, and that's also gives you more alcohol. So, but when they always talk about American beers being like, well, they're always talking about the big domestics, not the micros. I would put any microbrewery up against any macro German brewery any day. I would put any micro American brewery up against any brewery in Germany, just about. So, oh, Kraft's joining me. All right, there's Kraft. We're sipping on Big Baptiste. Nice. Cracked toe deep. Reverend, nice choice. So, like I said, if you guys haven't seen it, so this I am sipping on Drecker's Brain Squeeze, a smoothie sour gose. So, I am supposed to drink this fresh. I will admit, this is the second can I've had of this, and having it fresh, you really get that big, juicy, raspberry, fruity essence in the foam. This, I still believe, even though it was in the fridge, it kind of just settles at the bottom. I even kind of gave a little shook, and I had the last one, there was, I would swear, jam sticking on the glass. And this just tastes like a really good juice with alcohol. So it's still a really good beer. Yeah. I don't have a co-host. I'm still doing this the first time. Thanks, Jeff. All right. Yeah. So, but speaking of fruity, juicy beverages, guess who? Let's see if I can. There we go. Let's actually. Can I zoom out? Let's do this. Hang on. It's the image that they have is just so large on this page. There we go. Much better. 75 zoom. So, someone else is coming out with a very tropical fruity beverage this year. And, you know, I probably wouldn't mind trying at least one of them. So, maybe Jeff might even try one of them. I don't know. He kind of likes this beer company. Mike's Hard Lemonade, coming out with a brand new flavor for a limited time, the Pineapple Mandarin Lemonade. Actually, that sounds pretty good. So, that's supposed to be coming out this summer to go celebrate and have something new. But interesting thing about this is it's actually not new. They've had this out before at a limited time, only at limited locations, but this will be the first time it is limited nationwide. So you can go out and try to find a 6-pack of Mike's Hard Pineapple Mandarin Lemonade, coming in at a 5%. Whoop-de-doo. Now, if you are a fan of the Mike's Lemonade, I know as a young 21-year-old, I did partake in some Mike's Hard Lemonade, and every now and then I might have one, probably as long as there's absolutely no beer whatsoever, I might have one. But, you know, this actually doesn't sound too bad. I do like pineapple. I do like mandarin. I wouldn't mind lemonade. All three of those flavors do sound pretty good. If this isn't actually too sweet of a beverage, this would actually be pretty good. But it being Mike's Hard Lemonade, it's probably going to be just a big sugar bomb. Oh well, you know, but if I can find it in an individual bottle, I'd probably pick up a bottle or two. So, Jeff is a pineapple. Yes, Sybil, Jeff is a pineapple. Well, Big Spoon, this isn't Craft Computing, so I don't have a Discord. If I had a Discord, sure, you could talk all you want vocally. Talk to Jeff. He controls Discord. Yay, Jeff's helping. Yeah. So yeah, this will be coming out nationwide this summer, so it should be pretty good. Actually, the other cool thing I saw about this was the price. The price is actually supposed to be a pretty decent price. Oh no, sorry, that's a different one. So I don't know the price of this one. So, now I'm sure we have. If you do follow any kind of beer news or any kind of news at all within the past, well, let's say 35 to 40 days, you know a lot of businesses are getting hit really hard with that particular, coronavirus. I mean, let's just, I can say it again. I'm not monetized. I can do whatever I want here. Come on, stupid pop-up. You know what, the pop-up blocker. All right. But here's how. There we go. But if you saw anything, you know that beer. If you know anything about beer, actually, just about almost all types of beer or malt liquor have an expiration date. Especially wine, beer, they all have expiration dates, and especially the lighter beers. They expire a lot faster. They're supposed to be drank within like 40 days. 60 days is really pushing it. The bigger the beer, the ABV, the longer you can let it sit, and even call it a vintage. But let's face it, a lot of Americans and a lot of people in general just like drinking a lower ABV, and you want to have that fresh. Well, with a lot of bars, restaurants, sporting events all being closed, a lot of kegs are just sitting in warehouses. And effective the other day, a bunch of them had to have been dumped. And it sucks. But there are two breweries who are doing something pretty cool with their leftover beer instead of dumping it. And it just might help out your car. Boston Beer Company, better known, who do Samuel Adams and all them, who recently purchased, or merged, I should say, with Dogfish Head. They are turning their beer into ethanol for your car. So the next time you sit there and pump your car full of gas, maybe give it a little sniff here. Some mosaic, citra, Ooh, yeah, it's got a woodiness. There's a maltiness. Ooh, there's a dryness to my gasoline. So I thought that was actually pretty cool. So they're recycling their beer. Now they're basically pumping up, distilling the leftover beer to turn it into ethanol. They are trying to make some profit out of this. They're not going to get as much, but at least they're trying to get something instead of just dumping it. And then on top of that, Dogfish Head is actually using a lot of theirs to turn into sanitizer. And so they're distributing that as well. I thought that's really cool, doing recycling whatever products you do have and retrofitting your equipment to try to serve some purpose. I think that's a great way to do it. Now, you're not probably going to make 100% of your profits back, but if you can make 70% of that, that's still something. Oh my gosh, crap. Everyone's talking about me. Dab. Can confirm. Okay. I love that ass. Yeah, so you can see the ass flag. Alright, we need bourbon-fueled vehicles. Yeah, I wouldn't mind having a bit more interesting distilleries sitting there and turning their stuff into fuel. I would love to sit there and see a Jack Daniels or a Jameson gas station where you could sit there and have a drink with your car, basically distilled from the same batch. That would be a huge price per gallon. The price of that. Here's 16-year-old aged ethanol. Oh, you guys talking about? You guys always talking about my hair. Oh, shut up. I'm sorry. There you go. There's your ass. Everyone's asking for the ass. Everyone likes that ass. There we go. There's some ass. Sorry, Jeff. This is hard doing it by yourself. You even admitted on your show it's hard doing it by yourself live. You have the power. All right. So, now, summer is vastly approaching. And speaking of vodka, there is a company who comes out with a release just before the holidays. Or I shouldn't say holidays, but just before the 4th of July. to celebrate that American spirit, and that is Smirnoff. If you're not familiar with this and you don't go to the liquor store during the 4th of July, then you probably won't be familiar with this. But if you are familiar with going to the liquor store around the 4th, you would probably see Smirnoff's red, white, and blue vodka. Now, they also came out with a red, white, and blue, I believe it's like a malt liquor. Well, Smirnoff is now entering the hard seltzer. And they are doing it with their red, white, and blue seltzer. So, that'll be an interesting thing with 0 sugars. Yes, more seltzer news. I'm sure Kraft is so happy I didn't throw that into the notes because there's enough of them. There's enough of these companies doing this. But, so let's talk about this really quick. There's actually a couple of very interesting things about this. This is a 3-flavored seltzer by Smirnoff. This is a blue raspberry, a lemon, and a cherry. So it's all 3 of those flavors put together. It's not individual flavors per pack. It's a 3 flavors in one. It comes in 90 calories. It is 1 gram of sugar and 4.5% alcohol. The other really cool thing about this is it comes in a 12-pack, and it's going to be retailing for $12.99. That basically means it's almost just a little above $1 a can, which for an alcoholic hard seltzer in a 12-pack is a pretty darn good deal. The other cool thing is the can actually does the similar thing that, let's see if I can scroll down to it, Coors does. And it turns blue when it gets cold. So the bottom area there where the 0, the blue stars, or the stripe, no, sorry, the white stripes and blue background, that area is gray when it is basically room temperature or warm. And when it turns cold, it'll turn blue. Doesn't look too bluish, but still, kind of a cool little feature. But yes, you can go out this 4th of July, if we are allowed out, to go and get some Smirnoff hard seltzer. Yay. Great. But I think it'd actually be a pretty good value. But you know what that means is more hard seltzer review. Yay. What we all need. Bring back that ass. There's that ass. There you go. Here. Look. Tap that ass. So what? Anyone else enjoying the beer? I'm enjoying mine. I'm enjoying. All right. Anything extra cancer killer? Now, I wouldn't be surprised what they use in these hard seltzers. I have seen that they use a sugar base, a corn or a cane sugar base, and it's just low enough that the yeast eats up all of the sugar. They use a dry yeast, so like a champagne yeast, or they actually have now beers have a what's called a brute yeast, and it eats up 100% of the sugars in the beer. So you can technically say it's 0 sugar. So, and I have seen some home brew kits for hard seltzer, and it does contain cane sugar. So that would be an interesting thing to go and see when really it's just carbonated water. But I have seen some that say they are fermented. So that's interesting. Yes, everyone. So here is some interesting news on the tech world coming up, and it's not really super big news. Like I said, this is just to inform you on additional news that I have deemed kind of worthy to be talked about, but not worthy enough to be talked about on Talking Heads. If you are a beer and tech fan, I suggest going and checking out Craft Computing's Talking Heads. It's a pretty cool show. It happens every Wednesday. Check out every other Wednesday, like the ones I'm on. Those are the better ones. No, I'm kidding. Rhett and Steve, the other co-hosts, they're cool guys. They're good. And Jeff's kind of cool. Constantly makes fun of me. Tears me down. Wait, why do I even go to that show? This is stupid. Screw it. But Untappd. If you are a beer drinker, you probably know what Untappd is. Untappd is a big social media beer rating app. So if you are sitting there enjoying a beer and you want to, or think about buying a beer, you can look this beer up and see what other people think of it. I personally use this all the time. It's kind of cool too because they give you little badges and little prizes. Internally, that means absolutely nothing, but it's just more of a self-gratification of saying I have X amount of levels of beer drinking versus you. But I actually use it for kind of a beer tracker. Have I had this beer before? What did I think about it the last time? How long has it been since I've had this beer? You do have to be a little, dedicated to it. But they are getting a huge investment. This is actually the first time they are going outside of their own personal and company. Now, Next Glass did purchase Untappd. Next Glass was actually a wine app company, and they went and purchased Untappd. But other than going outside of their own internal company, this is the first outside investment they are getting, and supposedly it is a big investment. They did not disclose how much, but they did say that it's going directly into Untappd. The largest parts will be more geared toward the bottle shops, the brewery menus, and connecting bottle shops, breweries, and distributors together. So they're really trying to get those areas. If you are unfamiliar, they also came up with their own digital menu system. So you can kind of GPS a bar or a tap room around you, and you can see what they have on inventory and then the ratings on those beers, which is really cool. It seems that they're really trying to ramp up that stuff. If you aren't a Untappd subscriber and do love beer, it is a free app to sign up. Literally, it's just email and password, and boom, you're on. Don't have to make your own picture or anything like that. You can tag friends in it. You can do a lot of stuff in it. So it sounds like this, within the next year or so, we'll be getting a pretty cool little update. I do use this a lot of times for local bottle shops, the smaller ones that do have this on menu, or the tap rooms around me. I can see, and again too, if I've already had this beer or not, and what the rating was, and if I want to have it. And they'll tell you if it's a different vintage. So I'm really looking forward to seeing the difference or the cool new features that this money could be bringing. I really hope it's not just put into development. But again, they didn't disclose what is actually going to be used, this money is going to be used for. So they just said it's going to be more directed toward that side of the company and not the standard user scanning beers. Because right now that works pretty darn well. You can literally just scan the barcode and it pretty much finds it. So that is pretty cool. What is chat talking about? However, I still support Truth Seeker. The older I get, the less beer I can drink unless I want a belly. Truth, I thought the same thing, and I went and started checking out the lighter beers, some of the low calorie, less than 100 calorie beers. There are a few out there that do kind of tastes pretty good. Now, if you are a big beer drinker and want these big, bold flavors, yeah, you might run into that, high calorie, 300 calories a beer. But if you start getting in there's some of them that aren't too bad. And especially with the hard seltzer craze out there, there's, some really good low calorie options if you are wanting something different. Also, if you're wanting more of the beer flavor but no alcohol, check out Lagunitas Hop. It's not a hard seltzer, it's just a seltzer, but it's hop flavored. Highly recommend that. It's great. 0 calories, 0 sugar, and it basically tastes like a watery hop IPA. It's fantastic. I use that as my lawnmower beer, and I don't even get any alcohol from it, but it's still that refreshing. Craft distilleries are fantastic too. There's a couple here that I support too, and even I would say even Aviation Gin, the Ryan Reynolds one, which they do a lot of really cool cherry stuff during this pandemic and even before this pandemic. I do support them. There's a couple of really tiny local distilleries within like a 5 to 10 mile radius of where I live. I still get their stuff. It's good stuff. Oakshire Blues, yeah, they have a 100-calorie one too. Have that. Or no, I haven't had that. I tried looking for it. That particular one, I don't get. What was the one I liked? The Firestone Walker. Theirs was pretty good. I did a couple videos and a whole like month-long video of what it was like drinking these 100 calories. So check out some on my page if you're interested in that. Yeah, Sybil, the hot water. It was fantastic. So yeah, that's cool. So, but we've been talking about this pandemic that's been going on, and but some of the things that we have been talking about, there have been unique ways that breweries have been trying to get to consumers, and I think this one's kind of pretty cool. Now we've all heard about dogs in Alaska carrying little jugs of whiskey or bourbon inside of them. Well, how cool would it be to have basically dogs deliver your beer? There is a brewery in Long Island that they have never even thought about distributing beer or canning their own beer. They were a low, production location. Let me see if I can get this. And my face is kind of in the way. Give you the title. There we go. But what they have been doing is actually the owner has these two wonderful dogs. And they've always been around at the brewery, so you can always go to the brewery and see them. Well, because of the whole pandemic, they lost 70% of their income. And the way they're trying to make it back is, beer delivery. And their way of still staying distant and keeping their distance is by actually strapping these cases of beer around the dog's necks. And the dogs will then deliver it to you while the owner stays in the van or the truck. And they have been able to make up some of their sales with that, and it's been making some people pretty happy too, because the dogs are, from what I understand, pretty darn friendly. And who wouldn't want to see that, just driving up to their driveway, two dogs with their heads out the window, and delivering some beer and some happiness. I mean, your kids probably get to play with them, you get to play with them, So it's that. I think that's a really cool little happy story. So you can actually go check out their Instagram page. The link is inside the article, and actually shows a couple of pictures with them. And they literally it is a 4-pack with like a bungee cord around their neck, and that's all it is. But it's still a really cool way of delivering some beers. We saw we talked about this on Talking Heads, that there was even a brewery in England that was delivering it via not like a Clydesdale, but old school. They had the whole get up with the caps, the big barrels, the suspenders. I probably wouldn't be put past them. They probably already had the mustaches to go with everything. But they went really old school with it and kept it because they needed to keep exercising the horses. So that's a really cool way of delivering beer too. So Big Spoon, you know what? Just for you, I'm going to start over. He had to leave for a minute, so let's go back to Article 1. Hey guys, I'm John with Hops and Brews, and this is the first live stream of the month, or forever, basically. No, I'm just kidding. Check out your delivery. Yep, so. Alright. How long have we been going? I don't even know. Does it say 30 minutes? Hey, we're basically around time. I was only thinking this would be like a 45-minute show. So, we are right on time. So, again, kind of more pandemic news, but kind of pretty interesting. Now, most of the United States and a lot of Europe have deemed breweries still not, you can't go into them, but people can still work there. And they are able to basically sell their beer, but with as much social distancing as possible. Basically, zero contact deliveries. Basically, put your money by the door, order in, we'll leave it outside, stuff like that. We have a couple local breweries around here that the states have been allowing them to deliver to home. So state legislation has been allowing them to do that. That is not the case Mexico. Mexico actually deemed breweries and beer non-essential. And because of that, let's go. I gotta get this. Tijuana is losing almost all of its beer, and it is practically out of beer. And this is because most of their beers are, well, okay, I have to say this because it's their beer. It's Corona. Corona beer and Modelo, those are like their biggest brands down there. And they can't brew them, and they ran out. They're running out of actual beer. So, just like, oh my gosh. Yeah, it's just so funny, so ironic that this big Mexican Spanish holiday that we celebrate, and we drink tacos and Mexican beers, it's been stopped by a virus named after a Mexican beer. I don't think there was another picture now. But yeah, they are running out basically because the government stated that they have to be they had to shut down on April 3rd, and no production. It's also been hitting the States. There's actually been fewer and fewer beers hitting the States of Mexican-style cervezas that are brewed in Mexico. Now, if they have a plant here in the United States, they are allowed to brew within that plant, but any plants that are in Mexico that do get imported, they have to shut down completely. Really sucks. I'm not complaining because I don't particularly like 99% of the cervezas out there. And when I do have a taco, there are enough craft cerveza options out there. And if you're looking for a decent one, go check out Stone's Buenaveza. I just did a review on that. It's a fantastic, decent lager from a company that is known for basically making IPAs. If you like lime in your cerveza, they basically do it for you. It is a lime and salt cerveza. Oh God, you dude, Jeff. I'm sorry, I gotta go. So I am again part of a separate channel. Those of you are probably watching later on. Hopefully, some of the actual people that like beer stuff in my channel. I'm part of a tech and beer live show done every Wednesday of a tech and beer channel called Craft Computing, and he does a show called Talking Heads, and the first 20 minutes we talk about beer. I seem to be the butt of a lot of jokes. Okay, so well, that's the best. It's okay. Those are good. And that's good. Okay. Yeah. That's pretty good. And they decided to make an 8-bit version of me because my camera kept cutting out. Because Jeff would basically throttle my internet connection. Yeah. Awesome. Just awesome. All right, let's get into some Portland news. I live in Oregon, and Portland usually has some pretty decent beer news. And this is actually some pretty cool news. So there are some breweries out there that have been doing some cool things for basically the medical frontline people. And this is one of those cool things. Oh, where is there it is, OBS. Okay, well, and when I mean Portland, I don't mean Portland, Oregon, actually. I mean Portland, Maine. Allagash Brewery actually did this promotion it was supposed to be running until basically tomorrow, May 3rd, where they would give frontline medical workers a case of beer. They called it a bag of beer for $1. They would sell it to them for $1 because they had to legally sell it. but all you had to do was show up to their brewery with a medical ID, and you could buy a bag of beer for $1. And they were trying to do this promotion for a whole week. Well, they had such a great response from their medical community, and I would assume that the medical community just felt the love and wanted a good drink because they've been working hard, they ran out in one day. They literally did run out within actually less than 48 hours. They ran out. They ran out of 11,400 cans of beer. Now this isn't a huge brewery, but it's big enough. And still, for that, they were giving that many beers away for $1. And then people even donated to the cause. Again, it's just showing the love. There is a community around everything. When something epic happens in our country and in the world, people step up. Little things matter in this, where just a little bit of courtesy and love shown to someone else is a fantastic thing. And I love seeing things like this. I love to see things more like this. I love to see things like this even run when there's not something bad going on in the world. Just every now and then, do it for the police force, the medical force, the ambulance, the fire, your legal system, teachers, whatever. I mean, teachers pretty much go through hell all the time. I know plenty of them that have sat there and thought about pulling their hair out. Heck, the IT community, we get no love. Give us some free beer. I want, love your IT day month. I'd take that. Support your IT day. Support it. So I thought that's cool. Again, some nice news just to talk about. And the last one we got for the day is similar thing. Something probably a lot of people have fond memories of, and especially during their childhood and during the summer. Even around here where I live, one of my neighbors does this for a living, and so I see it and have it all the time. Oh, there it is. And it actually kind of annoys me. But the ice cream man. Who doesn't love the ice cream man hearing those stupid songs play 8-bit over a loudspeaker and a black van? It's kind of scary, actually, when you think about it. But a new cool way is Goose Island actually has their own version of an ice cream truck called the beer truck, or the beer van, I should say. It is, and they had to say it's a black van. It's like a black tinted van with black windows. And basically, yeah, not the greatest way to describe it. But what they're doing is they're filling this van full of Crowlers, and they have a big phone number on the side, and it drives around, and you just have to call the number that's on the side of it, and they'll stop in your block, and you just wave them down. Or you can even put in an online delivery. So if you live near Goose Island, the brewery, if you don't know what that is, they make some great Goose Island Bourbon County stouts. You've probably seen their IPA, just called Goose Island IPA. It's a national run IPA. It's not bad. They are owned by, InBev, and so they are technically not crap, but they still produce some decent stuff. And they're putting out some Crowlers and trying to help give people access to beer, and what better way than, putting in an unmarked black van with black tinted. Yeah, they should have rethought that. It would have been better if it was an ice cream truck, honestly. It really would have. I mean, it was already built with coolers. But that's cool. I really like the fact that they were doing something like that. It would be kind of cool to drive by and hear some kind of music that you knew was beer, and then you just call that number, and then it pulls up to your house, and then it drops off some beer. Or you go there and I wonder if it is like the ice cream trucks. If you ever remember seeing it, they always have the Mario or the Ninja Turtle or some kind of superhero with the perfect looking face, SpongeBob, and then you open it up, and it's just this mutated version of it. I wonder if that's how you get the beer. It's oh, here's our IPA or Bourbon County Stout, and you get it. It's like a squish can. It's kind of sour, and you're like, what the hell? I guess it's overpriced, but I get to have it for free. So, Yeah, I thought that would be interesting. But yeah, so that's it for the beer news now. If anyone has any comments or chats, let's go ahead and leave it to chats. If anyone wants to talk about any of those beer news or anything that they heard, I'll stick around for another couple minutes. This isn't supposed to be a long-running show. Basically about an hour show. Yeah, maybe we'll extend it, but it probably won't be 2 hours like Jeff's. But yeah, it'd be fun. So what do we got going on? Yeah, we've got 16 people watching, so I mean, there's enough people here to talk. They need to roll around with a song and watch everyone run after the truck. Yeah, that'd be awesome, Skull. Dudes running from 21 to 60 running out of the garage. They're probably like asking their wife, "Can I get this? Can I get this? Come on, come on, come on, come on, gimme, 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 gimme. I got some beer, I got some beer. You don't got yours, you don't got yours." That Eddie Murphy skit. Yeah, your mom telling you can't have beer till after dinner. Go put it in the fridge so it doesn't spoil. Yeah, that's funny. Or what if they just like floor the van? Free beer inside if you can catch us. Oh man, it would so suck though to like have someone spoof that van and change the number by like one digit and drive around. Yeah, the Skull, the one thing though, like Skull's talking about, he wished they had growler fills off of the truck. Actually, Oregon does have a portable growler fill station, but for our state, and I believe this is true for most states, filling a container is mostly illegal because you need a permit per location and it has to be stationary. To where what Goose Island is doing and a lot of these other places they're doing, they're selling pre-bottled, so they're Crowlers, 2 pints. Canned, and then they're handing you a canned beer. So they're handing you something that's not open, canned. So that's the thing. And a lot of places have open container laws. It wasn't until recently that even California, you couldn't even fill up growlers unless you were at the brewery themselves. And it had to be marked and sealed closed with some form of a sticker. Otherwise, it can be considered an open container. So I wouldn't be surprised if there's a lot more other states that are very similar. Craft beer has come a long way, but it's still far from being perfect. And every laws are, well, a lot of them are so old, and not every state has really good beer. Or really even good just craft liquor. So, yeah, they can make sudden stops and shake all the beer. I've never shotgun a Crowler, but because 90% of the time when I have a Crowler reverend, it's usually a big beer. It's usually something like, oh, I don't want a growler of that, but it's so rare. I want to share it with someone, and it's like bourbon barrel aged or 10%, and shotgunning a 10% 2-pint beer, that's a bit for me. What are we running at? Are we still running at 720? So I might have to have Jeff help me out with the video. It's probably my video encoder because this is not going through anything, just USB 2.0. Yeah. Yeah, and that's the thing. I've noticed that when I owned a tap room 5 years ago, well, actually, it'd be more, 3 years ago was when it closed. But Crowlers were just starting to come into Oregon, and the original machines were expensive, and it was a bit harder a couple years ago, about 3 or 4 years ago, because what they required you to do was the machine itself was about $1,500. So for a brewery or a tap room, actually, it's a little bit of an investment if you're not a big one, but it's not a huge overall investment. I mean, it was kind of worth it, but the actual real investment was you had to buy a pallet of cans at a time. And a pallet of cans cost you $5,000. And then on top of that, you needed a place to store those cans. And you also needed a commercial location for them to deliver it to. They didn't deliver to residential areas or places that basically just didn't have a loading dock and forklift. And you had to have your own forklift. So it was really hard for a lot of places to get it. I actually know a couple of tap rooms locally to my area that they both bought machines and then they would split the pallet amongst 3 different places. And it still took them a long time to get to. Now that has come down a lot. The way they've been doing it, and other companies have been selling the cans themselves, and they've even come out with 16-ounce just pint cans. I'd actually even prefer that over a Crowler, because the pint cans is literally just the price of the pint plus $1 for just the can. So they're just charging for $1. Yeah, Scott, need that RTX voice. You know, I don't have thousands of dollars to set up my equipment. I have thousands of dollars to spend on beer. I have. You know, I don't even know if my microphone's on. Yeah, and it was something I was thinking about splitting with a couple extra bars, and I know places that do that, and the price of cans have gone down now. I think it's now like $2.50 per pallet, so it's basically gone down half, and you're only required to buy half of a pallet at a time now. So it's still, you know, $12.50, something like that, to buy a pallet. So you're looking at a first initial setup cost of roughly around $3,000 to just start off. But you will find that more people are willing to do it because you don't require to have that growler, that impulse buy. People have to buy that growler, and then selling them that growler for that impulse buy. The cheapest growlers I've known, and I was one of the cheapest, was $10 for a glass growler, and a custom glass growler at that. You're basically breaking even just on the growler itself, and you're only making about a 40% to 35% profit on the actual beer. They don't mark beer up that much. I'm telling you, that's really what it's a 35 to 40% markup. That's it. So being able to do more impulse buys like that with Crowlers really will help boom places, and they'll make their money back quick. There was even back early on when Crowlers were going out, they were growler bladders. So it was $1 growler, but it was a bladder style, so the plastic bag essentially, and you were able to use it 10 times before technically you shouldn't use it again. But the bladder only cost you $1. So they were trying to fit right in that middle, and it didn't really catch on. A couple places I know here in Oregon tried doing it, and it didn't do it very well. Even I did something different because I couldn't afford that initial $5,000 setup fee. What I did was actually I went and bought a couple $100 worth of pint flip tops. So you'll see like the German style where they have the flip top seals, and I sold those as pints to go instead of growler fills, and I sold those bottles as $2 a bottle. So it was still kind of similar to a Crowler, but you got this really cool reusable glass bottle for $2, and then whatever the pint fill was. And a lot of people really liked that. And just having the flip top bottle was really nice too. People still liked that. And for where I'm located at in Oregon, that was still considered a sealed bottle. So that was nice. So, omnipotent microbreweries near my work started canning, and there's a problem with beers made with main water here. But it's that or close. Almost out of cookie here too. Okay. Yeah, if you're talking about just spend $30K first, how do you make money on YouTube? Yeah, you basically spend $30K. Yeah, you basically it's a startup business essentially, and yeah, if you're going to take it seriously, that's what it is. Otherwise, you act like it's a hobby and you stitch together what you can, and hopefully you're banking on your friend becoming a huge success and giving you spare parts as they become obsolete. Wink, wink. Ryzen, wink, wink. We'll take for free, wink, wink. Trade you beer. I got a lot of PAP still left over. But yeah, microbreweries using just basically main water without checking into the chemical balance. Yeah, you can. I mean, you can do it, but you don't know what that chemical balance is, and you're going to get off-putting flavors in your beer, and you can't. And you're going to be fighting, adjusting all of that all the time. So if you have a high chemically treated, basically just standard water, you're going to want to invest in a good water filtration system into your brewery, and that's going to eat up a lot. If you're a small little brewery and then you're trying to can yourself, what I found is that a friend of mine named Joe, he started a company, and what he's a mobile canning place, and he has a professional canning system that can basically do a 12-barrel system in basically a matter of hours. And he'll go around to all the breweries in Oregon and in Washington and say, hey, you're a small brewery, you want your stuff canned? I can do it for you. And he goes around and he's busy basically every day. Going, he takes his trailer, sets up, does canning for about 8 to 9 hours, and leaves and gets paid a lot and gets a lot of free beer out of it too. He's done it for the big boys too. He's done it for Elysian and 10 Barrel. Actually, Elysian did the first set of Night Owl pumpkin beers last year that was done in can. He was the one who actually canned most of the ones that got distributed here in the Northwest. And the really cool part too is I even got my beer personally canned by him. He does a charity event every 3 months to where, hey, you bring food, donate it in for the homeless, and home brewers can then have their beer canned for $20 a keg. Basically $20 for every 5 gallons. It's a pretty fantastic thing. Just make sure your yeast is dead, because I've blown up a few cans. A couple people can attest to that. Yeah. But so, yeah, if you don't have that canning system and you're a small brewery, I would definitely talk to a brewery if they said, yeah, we just need a canning system. There might be already a local canner around you that is a mobile canner. So check that out. I'll give them 1 parabola for 1 Ryzen. Anyways, yeah. Got any of those leftover epics? Yes, I have all of the leftover epics. I haven't drinking any of them except for, I think it was like the hazelnut latte, which I didn't really care for. But it was also the lowest ranking one. Hops makes dollars per day. I don't even make that on this channel. I make nothing. Absolutely nothing. Yeah. Anyways, it is 10:16 my time. It is a bit over an hour and 16 minutes. I think we've been doing this hour and 3 minutes. That's perfect time. I think I have learned enough from this experience to know that I will never be doing it again. No, just kidding. I probably will be, but wanting a better camera setup, better audio setup, better chat, better switching between screens, maybe better overlay of how things work. But still, this has been fun. The only way you learn is just by doing it, right? You can watch as many YouTube videos of how to do it as you want, or watch your friends do it as much as you want, but until you dive into it and use your own personal setup, you'll never know how to actually do this. Unless you just spend thousands upon thousands of dollars. So let's call it a night on this one, and thank you for joining me. I hope you like this. If you want me to continue doing stuff like this again, let me know in the comments below or in the chat. Thank you for all of the people just watching. I don't know why people even like watching me. I don't even like watching myself in the mirror. So, yeah. But for one last time, let's tap that ass. All right. So I'm going to see you guys later. Hopefully, remember to check out Craft Computing Talking Heads. I should be on, not this week, but next. And make sure to check out Jeff's Craft Computing Talking Heads if you're looking for additional beer news. First 20 minutes is always beer or alcohol related news, and it is a family friendly show. Also, if you do like tech, make sure to check them out. So I will see you guys next time.